Friday night, guys. I thought for fun that I would shave my face in front of you guys tonight. I mentioned this the other day in one of my vlogs and it garnered quite a bit of enthusiasm. The other day I danced on into Sephora. You know, I detest that place, but I was so motivated by you guys' encouragement that I just buzzed on in there and I picked up these level setter set of 3 razors. In there they were $8. Shaving is a far better method of removing hair than waxing, plucking, tweezing, or threading. The reason being, when you do this, it's a misperception that you're somehow weakening the hair and making it grow back finer. That's absolutely false. What you're actually doing is fracturing the hair shaft like a rubber band, okay? You're stretching it like a piece of elastic. And when you do that, regardless of the technique, it doesn't matter if it's, you know, Ayurvedic with the threading. When you do that, what happens is the hair shaft becomes fractured and it grows back all wonky. The other reason it's not great, what it does is that when you rip off the hair so acutely, your immune system goes, what the heck did they just do? I better stand alert. And what does it do? It comes on in around where that baby hair was and makes essentially what looks like a pimple to your eyes, a red bump that sometimes gets filled with pus. That is an acne-like irritant reaction to the trauma that your skin just sustained. So I try and encourage women to abandon the practice of waxing and to embrace shaving, because when you shave the face, it's a misconception that the hair will grow back thicker or more rapidly or coarser. The thickness of your hair and the rate of hair growth is governed by a complex interaction of factors deep in the skin. That is a complete misconception. You're not pulling it out by the root, that little black bulb that you see that can, let's be honest, when you pluck that out, it's gratifying, right? You think you got it. You ain't got it. That's just where the hair color, that's just the shaft right there with, that's not the root, okay? When I was a teenager, I used to think I was getting my eyebrows out by the root when I was doing that. You ain't. You're just fracturing the hair shaft. And I tell people to do this, but do I do it? No. So tonight I'm going to try it out for you guys since it garnered a lot of enthusiasm. And, you know, I just got out of the shower, as you can tell, and while I was in the shower, as per usual, I removed my makeup with the Neutrogena Ultra Gentle Hydrating Cleanser in the creamy formula. This is a backup bottle that I have here. I really like this. I find it removes my makeup quite readily. Then when I got out of the shower to a wet face, I don't normally do it this way. My typical routine's a little different, but just to kind of not dry out my skin too much, I just kind of came in with a little different to keep the skin hydrated. Now my skin is hydrated, but you know what? I want a little barrier protection on there, so I swung into Kroger to do my grocery haul today, and I picked up this can of Barbasol. I'm stoked about this. Here's what I like about this. I looked at all of the shaving things and I looked at the ingredients, and it's got, you know, a lot of stuff in it to make it shaving cream and foam that is fairly inert. But then it's got willow bark extract, which is essentially a little bit of salicylic acid that can lightly, you know, kind of potentially help against bumps, and it's got aloe in it, which is soothing and anti-inflammatory, and it doesn't have fragrance. Here's the funny thing, you know, this was $1.63, and there was a ton of stuff above it, Nivea, all of these other more high-end drugstore, grocery store, what have you, shaving creams, and there was like this fancy Nivea one, and I was like, oh, maybe that's a good one. I looked at the ingredients, it was loaded with fragrance, and it was like 4 times the cost of this. This seemed like a good choice for this. And, you know, honestly, like, and, you know, can we just stop with the marketing for men and women here? I mean, honestly, like, ladies, if you're doing this, I don't know that this is completely necessary, but I figured, why not give it a try. And I just wet my face a little bit, and here we go. I can't believe guys do this all the time, every day. It's a lot of pressure. You know, they have those chitty chatty get ready with me videos that the beauty gurus have. and y'all know I don't do any makeup or anything, so chitty chatty face, shave my face with me. Well, speaking of chitty chatty, I hope you guys are having a good day, week, whatever day of the week this goes up. I have no idea. This does feel nice. I can see how this would be soothing. I kind of want to roll around in it. I gotta pause and take the thumbnail here. Alright, now obviously you want to go in the direction of the hair. I have no idea if I'm even doing this right, but I'm just gonna, ooh, I can feel it going. Fairly benign. And you know, I'm just going off of having observed the men in my family do this as a child. I think you're supposed to do it this way. Novice, but you want to go in the direction of the hair shaft. You want to go with the grain of the hair. That supposedly helps. I do see a little baby fuzz coming on. I don't know. Have any of you guys tried these Sephora ones? Are they like kind of a racket? I imagine they are. But y'all told me that Miss Gold Girl does this. She's beautiful, so I hope I look as good as her after I do this. But I got a wild Friday night in store. I saw Netflix has Anne with an E on it. I am jazzed as a saxophone for that. That was one of my favorite books when I was a child, Anne of Green Gables series. I was an avid reader as a child. I still love to read, but now I audio read with Audible, which kind of feels like cheating. I don't know what my first grade teacher would say about that. She'd probably revoke my gold reading stars, but anyways, I really enjoyed those books. It's a funny story. I really wanted to be Anne with an E, Anne of Green Gables. I mean, I really just identified with the character, I guess. And I didn't know much about Canada when I was a child. I mean, when I was reading the books, and it just sounded like this magical place, right? And you know when you're reading a word and you've never heard it before? You know when you read a word and you've never heard it before? Heard the pronunciation of it before? I had never heard of Nova Scotia before, and I thought it was called Nova Scotia. But one of the things I really try to do, I really try and push myself to pronounce people's names correctly, especially if they're from another country. I feel like just because somebody's last name isn't common or familiar to you in your language, doesn't mean you should just flagrantly butcher it. So we have a large Vietnamese population here in Houston, and I'm really trying to get the pronunciation of their last names at least somewhat respectable. And we have some Vietnamese residents that I work with who I teach in the clinic, and they have kindly attempted to help me say the patient's last names. But it's a difficult language to get the pronunciation correct. Trying goes a long way. When I was young, I had the opportunity to visit Portugal, and one of the things that really struck me about Lisbon, that's where I visited, is that Portuguese people in Lisbon, at least my experience, were so kind and supportive and enthusiastic at any attempt you made to speak Portuguese that they were just the sweetest people about it. So I think it's going pretty well. You know, kind of the gold standard for epilation, if you will, I guess, removing unwanted hair, would be laser hair removal. If you're motivated to do laser hair removal, I would definitely caution you to make sure that the person operating the laser knows exactly what they're doing, particularly if you're dark skin type, African American, African, Black, Asian, Hispanic, because the selection of the laser and the wavelength that they select can impact the success, and B, if chosen wrong and operated incorrectly by somebody who doesn't know what the heck they're doing, it can disfigure you. It can leave dark marks behind, potentially scarring, and potentially burn you. So be very, very careful. The laser really works the best. Laser hair removal really works fantastic if you've got porcelain white skin and jet black hair, because it doesn't have to think. It just sees that hair and it goes pew, down, and it miniaturizes the hair and eventually turns it into a very, very fine baby hair, kind of like makes it like male pattern baldness almost. It's not like it creates a scar and you could never grow a hair there again, but it miniaturizes it, turns it into a baby hair. And it does that effectively after several rounds of it, and by distinguishing colors, okay? That's how a little basics about how lasers work for hair removal. And if the person operating it is just pointing and shooting because they've been told that this is a laser to remove hair, then good luck with that. So I'm just going to rinse it off with some gentle warm water here. I'm just coming in with a little boost. I'm still going to try the Korean skincare. And then I'm coming in with more Diffie. Guys, this Differin moisturizer is awesome. But when I was in Sephora picking up those overpriced little face shavers, ooh, this is nice going on after post-shave. I mean, I've never shaved my face before, so. But that feels good. Just gonna let it kind of incubate on there. But yeah, in Sephora, I was looking at some of their high-end nighttime moisturizers, and I swear the ingredient profile was essentially identical, except some of them had a bunch of fragrance in them and stuff like that. I mean, it's not like fragrance is the devil, but if something's gonna cause a problem, it's gonna be that fragrance, It's gonna irritate or that kind of thing. So, or a botanic extract can really cause a lot of problems. I mean, not in everybody, but. Well, shout out to Barbasol, $1.63. This was money well spent. I like it. It's made in the US of A, established in 1919. I mean, I imagine if you've been making shaving cream since 1919, you ain't gonna screw that up. So yeah, I think I'm gonna throw this away now, because I don't think this should be reused. But yeah, I like the way it feels. Ooh, that's nice. Okay. So yeah, that's basically me trying the facial shaving thing. So now, do you guys touch this up like periodically throughout the week? I don't know. I imagine this will grow back quite slowly. So I'm kind of stoked about doing this. All right, guys. Well, that was fantastic. Oh, update. I think I updated you guys on these the other day, but I do really like them. But they're a little bit harder to manipulate, but you come around to them. It's Kavita night. Oh, I mentioned the Kavita the other day, and I forgot we've got new people here. Kavita is a fermented drink that I consume. It's kind of like kombucha. I don't know why kombucha suddenly is so popular. I feel like it's been around for decades. Like 6 or 7 years ago, I was in San Francisco, and that's when I first started drinking kombucha. That's when I first discovered those GTTs, and I feel like they've been around for a long time, but now all of a sudden people are like, ooh, have you tried kombucha? I'm like, yeah, where were you 7 years ago? I mean, it's obviously not mainstream or well known, so I shouldn't say that, but I feel like it's suddenly caught on, whereas I'm so over it. I like kombucha, but it's not really my thing. I like the Kavita waters, though. I only like that lemon cayenne one. But you guys, somebody clued me into this other one. You clued me into it after I went to Sprouts with my mom. The Sprouts in Texas, we have Sprouts, which is like a grocery store with a little bit more of a, it's like a healthy grocery store. And it's fantastic. But there's not one near me, so I don't go that often. And but apparently they sell this drink that you had mentioned, and I'm blanking on the name now. So if you're watching this, I'm looking out for it. Well, what do you guys think? Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching that. I'm going to conclude this video here. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye!